In this video, we're going to write code for our format module function, which will fill the edit form using the returned JSON data. So far we managed to get the data from the PHP file and pass it. So now we've got an array, okay, that we can use to fill the form. So I'm just gonna print the trip variable again in the console to make it easy for us to see what's inside it. So let's click on the edit button inside any of these trips. And now we can see our array or objects. All right, so we're going to use this data to fill the form. So let's start with the departure. So we're going to select the input using its ID, which is departure 2. Okay, so if you remember, these are the IDs we gave to the different fields. Departure 2, destination 2, and so on. Okay. And we're going to set the value of this to the element of key departure inside our trip variable. So to get that, we're going to go to the variable trip, and then we're going to go to the element of key departure. All right. We're going to do the same thing with the destination. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing for the price, seats available, okay. Now we're going to move to the radio buttons and the other stuff like the weekdays and so on. Okay, so when we are dealing with checkboxes or radio buttons, to set the value, it's going to be slightly different. Okay, so we're going to differentiate two cases here. We're going to look at the case where the trip is regular, and then we're going to look at the other case. So let's start with the regular case. So if the trip is regular, then we're going to check or uncheck some checkboxes, and then we're going to show the right elements and hide the elements we want to hide. Okay, so to check if the trip is regular, we're going to go to the data inside our trip variable, and we're going to check the value of the element of key regular. So if the element of key regular is equal to y, that means that the trip is irregular. Okay. Else the trip is not regular. Okay. So first of all, if the trip is regular, then we're going to check this radio button. So to do that, we're going to select the elements using its ID. So the ID of that element is yes2. And then we're going to use the property method. Okay, so this method will take a couple of parameters. So the first one is going to be checked. Okay, because we want to decide whether this is going to be checked or not. And the second parameter is going to be true or false. So since we want to check this because our trip is regular, we're going to set this to true. All right. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with all the other boxes, okay, checkboxes. So you're going to use this property method and we're going to set the checks property to true or false. So let's start with Monday. So we will need to check if the value of the element of key Monday inside trip is 1 or not. Okay, so if we look there, we've got only, okay, we've got Monday there and it's null, so we don't have anything inside. So to check that, we're going to say if the elements of key Monday is equal to 1, then we're going to set the property of the checkbox Monday 2, so that's the ID of Monday. Okay, we're going to set that to true, else we're going to set that to false. All right, so there is another easy way to do this. We can go straight away and select Monday like that. And then we will decide right here whether we're going to use true or false. So we're going to use this check followed by a question mark. Oh, I picked the wrong one. So basically what we're saying here, we're going to say, is the element of key Monday equal to 1? If yes, then we want true. Otherwise, we want false. Okay. So that's a simplified way or a quick way to say all of this in one line. So I'm going to delete that for now. Okay. So we're going to do exactly the same thing with all the other days. Okay. Tuesday, Wednesday until Sunday. So I'm going to pause the video and do exactly the same thing here. Okay. All right. So we've got all the weekdays. Now we're going to move to the time. Okay. So let's select the time input. So again, we can do that using the ID of the time input. Otherwise, you can also use the input of name time. Well, actually, its name is time 2. We gave it an ID, so you can use the ID as well if you like. So let's set the value of that to the elements of key time. All right, and finally, we will need to hide all the one-off elements and show only the regular elements. So let's hide everything to start. So all the one-off elements, they have a class one-off 2. I'm going to select them using the class. So we're going to hide them. And we're going to show the elements of class regular 2. Okay, so now we're done with the regular case. Now let's move to the one-off case. So if it's a one-off, we're going to start with that radio button and set the checks property to true. So the ID of that radio button was no2. Here we go. And also we're going to set the dates, okay, using the value of the element of key date. So we can select this element using its ID or just do the same thing we did with the time. So it's got a name date 2 and the value is going to be corresponding to the element of key dates. And regarding the time, we're going to do exactly the same thing we did in the regular case. Okay. So everything looks fine. So now let's save and try our code. So let's click on the edit button. Okay. And we can see the details there. Okay, the only thing that's missing here is that we haven't hidden the regular elements and shown the one-off elements at the end of the one-off case. So let's do that. So we want to hide all the regular elements and show all the one-off elements. All right, so, well, there is a minus sign right there. Okay, so let's save and refresh the page. So if you click on the edit button, so we can see that the form has been filled with the right information. So this is a one-off trip. Let's pick a regular one. Okay, perfect. So you can see the days, time. Let's try another one, a one-off. Okay, perfect. All right, so in the next video, we're going to write code to edit the trip in the trips table once we submit the form.